It was the kind of day when the air felt heavy with the weight of anticipation. The school bell rang loudly, signaling the beginning of another class. But in room 204, something was different today. Amid the usual chatter of students settling in, a moment was about to unfold that would change everything. Can you imagine being told that you'd never amount to anything? That you were less than others simply because of your circumstances? For Mia, the world had always been like a wall, high, intimidating, and seemingly impenetrable. A poor student at an affluent school, she often sat at the back of the class, quiet, unnoticed. No one seemed to care about the girl with the threadbare clothes, the cracked shoes, and the tired eyes. Her parents worked tirelessly to make ends meet, and Mia knew from an early age that she was different. But oh, how she wished she could be seen. It was on this particular day that Mrs. Thompson, her music teacher, would give Mia the one task she dreaded the most: play the violin. It wasn't because Mia didn't love music. Oh, she did. In fact, she could play the violin better than anyone in that room. But no one knew that. To her classmates, she was just the girl who sat quietly, the girl who blended into the background. "Come on, Mia," Mrs. Thompson said with a tone that dripped with sarcasm. "Why don't you show the class what you can do with that violin? Or are you too embarrassed to even try?" Laughter bubbled up from the group, the mocking voices of her classmates ringing in her ears. Mia's heart sank. She could feel the burn of shame rising in her chest. Her cheeks turned a deep shade of red as she reluctantly walked to the front of the class. The violin, which had once been a source of solace for her, now felt like a burden, a weight on her shoulders. But as Mia stood there, violin in hand, something deep inside her stirred. She didn't need anyone's approval. She didn't need to prove anything. It wasn't about them. It was about her. She closed her eyes, took a breath, and began to play. The sound that filled the room wasn't the awkward screech of a beginner. It was a sound of pure, unbridled genius. The notes danced in the air like ribbons of light, weaving their way through the classroom. Each stroke of the bow brought a surge of emotion, a story told through every note. The melody was rich, full of depth, as though the violin itself was speaking to the students in a language only they could understand. Her classmates, who had been laughing just moments ago, fell silent. The room seemed to hold its breath. Mia's music painted a picture of everything she had ever wanted to say, her dreams, her fears, her longing to be seen. And for the first time, she felt it. They were listening. But the most shocking moment came when Mrs. Thompson, the one who had mocked her, was the first to speak after the last note faded. "Mia, I had no idea." Her voice wavered. The once condescending tone now replaced with awe. What happened next was nothing short of miraculous. Mia's life, up until that moment, had felt like a constant battle to survive. She had always been told that her background, her status, her poverty, were barriers she could never overcome. But as the applause from her classmates filled the air, something shifted within her. For the first time, she felt seen. One of her classmates, Sarah, who had always been one of the more popular girls, stood up and walked over to Mia. With a hesitant smile, Sarah said, "That was incredible. I didn't know you could play like that. I'm sorry. I should have never said anything." Mia was taken aback. Sarah, the girl who had always seemed so untouchable, had just apologized. It was a small act of kindness, but to Mia, it meant the world. From that moment on, everything changed. Mrs. Thompson, realizing the error of her ways, went out of her way to support Mia, ensuring that she had access to the best instruments and resources. And Sarah, who had once looked down on Mia, became her closest ally. They practiced together, helped each other with schoolwork, and bonded over their shared love of music. The story doesn't end there. Mia went on to play at prestigious music events, eventually earning a full scholarship to a renowned music school. But what really made her journey unforgettable was how her success wasn't just about the music. It was about the kindness that had been extended to her, the people who saw her when she couldn't see herself, and the doors that opened because someone took a moment to believe in her. Can you imagine how Mia must have felt, standing there, violin in hand, as the applause rang out? For so long, she had been invisible, dismissed by society. But in that instant, everything changed. Kindness, simple, genuine kindness, had shattered the barriers she had carried for so long. Mia's story isn't just about a girl who played the violin. It's about the power of kindness to transform lives. It's about how a single act, whether it's an apology, a helping hand, or simply believing in someone, can change everything. Mia went from being the student no one cared about to a brilliant musician with the world at her feet, all because someone chose to see her for who she truly was. So, to anyone watching this video, remember, kindness is not just a gift, it's a tool for transformation. You never know how your small gesture could change someone's life forever.